More than 90% of your win rate is going to come from playing 80 common nodes well. And arguably the biggest chunk of that is knowing how your opponents are going to react in those nodes. What we've done over at Savant is just released a new tool which shows you exactly how many regs will overfold or underfold in each of these nodes. It's a free tool, so you don't need to purchase anything. All you do is just make an account with us, and then you can see all of the data for single raise pots and 3-bet pots, both as the in-position and out-of-position player. This information is extremely useful because it not only shows you how much people are overfolding, it also shows you what percentage of regs are going to be making that mistake. So for instance, as the single raised pot in-position preflop raiser, there is a medium overfold in bet, check, fold, and according to this information over here, 80% of the most passive regs are going to overfold. So only around 20% of regs are going to overcall. I try to make this tool as easy and simple to use, while also keeping it highly effective. This will absolutely aid you in your study, as well as in your exploitative mastery of the game. You can go on our website right now and access the tool for free, but the reason I wanted to make a video is because I think there's some very important information that needs to be said. Some of that information is going to be pretty basic. It's going to talk about the limitations of the data, the sourcing of the data, but there's also some really good nuggets of wisdom that I can show you that I've gained from my years of experience, both coaching and before that, playing professionally online. I don't want to waste anybody's time, so let's just dive right into that useful information. First off, let's talk about the data sourcing. Bit of a boring topic, so I'll cover it as quickly as I possibly can. I have been coaching poker for about 2 years, and from the start, I always wanted to take a data-based approach because this is what I found most successful for my playing experience. I was also in a CFP at the time, which is kind of like a poker school, and they lean heavily on building strategies around mass data analysis. So over the past several years, I've had a chance to interact with a lot of data and a lot of different databases. I've looked at samples from 10NL all the way to samples at 10K plus NL. Some of these were data mined, and some of these are a collection of my students' hands. Some of these come from known pools like GG and Stars, and others come from unknown pools like Ignition. Another thing that I've looked at is this live poker database, which comes from Hentonote. This one's also pretty interesting because there are a few big differences. In my experience looking at all of these different databases, I've noticed that there are a few important factors to point out. The first one is that there's not that big of a difference between how people play between different stakes. This, I think, is a really surprising point, but if you take a look at aggregate reg hands from 10NL to 1KNL, there's really not that big of a difference. Individual players are definitely going to get a lot better, but on average, the population tends to make the same mistakes at 10NL as they do at 1KNL. There are a few common nodes where people play a little bit better at higher stakes, for instance flop c-betting and flop check raising, but even common nodes like the delayed c-bet, which is the check bet node, are going to be really grossly misplayed by even high stakes regs. It's only when you get up to like 5KNL and 10KNL that individual players get far better at mastering those spots. But those are mostly guys who have been playing professionally for something like 10 years or more. Some other information that I have that supports this is this little poker IQ test thing that I did a short while back. At Savant, we're basically building a tool that sort of assesses your true poker level, and to gather the data for this, I sent out a survey via email, and I got way more than 100 responses. I forget the exact number. But here we have a graph which shows the stake on the x-axis, as well as the number of questions that people got right on the y-axis. And although there is a trend that higher stakes are going to get more answers right in general, the correlation is actually quite weak. There are tons of regs at 100 NL and 200 NL that are getting less theory questions right than players at 5NL or 10NL. I think this is quite interesting. The skill level doesn't really jump until you get to around 200 NL, which makes a lot of sense because this is the level where people start taking poker professionally. So we start seeing a bigger improvement between 200 and 500, and then an even bigger jump between 500 and 1000. And this absolutely lines up with playing experience. This also correlates with my coaching experience. I know tons of very good players who are playing 25 and 50 NL, and some less theoretically skilled players at maybe 100 and 200. So what all of this means is that this data is going to be very accurate for your average online game. However, it is not going to be accurate for unknown pools like Ignition, and it is not going to be accurate in very small pools. We'll talk about this a lot later because it's a super important point, but at the end of the day, poker is all about playing against the individual opponent, And although it's super useful to understand what mistakes people generally tend to make, it does not outweigh the importance of getting very good at exploiting individual opponents. Individual opponents are going to vary a lot, especially in certain nodes, which is why this data is going to be less useful if you're playing in a very small pool. Concerning live poker, some aspects of it are definitely going to carry over, but I would say this really depends on the room. For instance, the games over in Texas are going to be very loose and people are notoriously super stationy. People play wide, do all sorts of crazy stuff pre-flop, which actually raises the question of what are we even comparing regs to? Right, like if we had all of the data for how people play post-flop in a game like 1-2 at Texas Card House, I don't know how relevant it is going to be to compare that data over to how the solver plays. Right, people are just deviating so much left and right, making huge mistakes pre-flop that a one-to-one comparison isn't really all that possible. However, I think that as you get into higher and higher stakes and you're playing up against more experienced players, from what I've heard from various different clients, is that people start playing more similar to how they do online. And although I don't have a very big live poker background, another thing that I constantly hear from my clients, and one of the biggest things that I found from that hand-to-node live poker database, which of course has its own limitations, is that people tend to be a little bit more stationy playing live poker. So maybe if a spot is marked as a small overfold, or if it's neutral, you might want to just be a little bit more careful if you're playing live. Still, I think one of the best things about this tool is that it will show you how likely your opponents are to overfold in a spot. So not only is it going to show you if there is a small, medium, or large overfold, it's also going to show you what percentage of players are actually going to be overfolding there. The practical application of this is absolutely enormous. For instance, let's say you have the opportunity to bet on the turn against the single raised pot in position pre-flop raiser. Around 80% of regs are going to overfold there. So you can be very confident that unless you're playing against one of the most stationy regs in your pool, there will be an overfold in the spot. It's a very safe exploit. Compare that to a node like bet when you are the in-position pre-flop raiser in a 3-bet pot. If you bet on the flop, there's no overfold. If you bet on the turn, there's a very big overfold. If you bet on the river, there's only a small overfold coming from a little bit more than 50% of regs. Bet is going to be a huge pot. And so it's really important to understand that only 50% of regs are going to be overfolding there. If you overbluff against every single player, you are going to make EV in the long run because there's a small overfold, but you can make so much more EV by not bluffing against 50% of the more stationy players. That's why it's so helpful to know what percentage of regs are going to be overfolding in the spot. Some bluffing spots are almost always going to work, regardless of the player type. Others, you have to be way more careful. And if you are playing on an unknown pool like Ignition, or if your player pool is small, or if you're playing live poker, it's still super useful to have this tool, because you can still kind of rely on the tool in this rough way. If something like 80% of regs are overfolding to a significant degree in a specific node, you can likely still rely on those findings, just with a grain of salt. For instance, if you're playing in a live game and you know it's a little bit more sticky, maybe you just tone these values down. You can just roughly estimate that there's a small overfold on average, and maybe this only gets a 2 out of 5, which means that only 40% of the most passive regs are going to overfold. Obviously, this tool is going to be much better if you are playing in those common online games, but speaking from my experience, I think it's totally fine to use the tool in this rough way if you're not playing those games. And of course, all of this information is meant to only give you a rough idea of what types of mistakes opponents are going to be making. None of this should ever outweigh trying to figure out how your individual opponent is playing and then trying to tailor exploits specifically to them. One of the biggest problems that I personally have with MDA-based coaching is that sort of oversimplification trap where it's really easy to forget the individual opponent and just follow an MDA-approved strategy. It might work long-term, but it's definitely suboptimal. One of the things that I'm most proud of at Savant is that we put a lot of effort and care into teaching you a strategy that you can adjust against individual players. The courses are structured in a way that teaches you theory, teaches you data, and then teaches you how to adjust. We also just released our biggest Practice Hub update ever. There are over 100 new drills with detailed explanations of theory, data, and general strategy. And to help you remember all of this information, 80 of those drills are directly tied to the mistakes that opponents are making in those spots. For example, this drill asks, how much does the average reg overfold against bet check bet in this node? And then you would click the correct answer, you'd have a nice detailed explanation, and it's a very good way for you to internalize this information. Our practice hub uses a spaced repetition system. Simply log in, click your do drills, and improve. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you will love this new tool that we've created, and I look forward to expanding this even further in the future. Follow the link down below, and I'll catch you over on our site.